Plympton Castle is found in the village of Plympton St Maurice, part of Plympton, Plymouth, in the southwest of Devon, just across the border from Cornwall. It stands today as a somewhat crumbling monument to the largely forgotten past of much of Britain, as well as an example of the development of Anglo-Norman fortification construction. The castle at Plympton is what's known as a Motte and Bailey Castle, a traditionally earthen and wooden fortification that was built up of a man-made hill of soil, stone, and reconstituted materials to varying heights based on construction time, known as the motte, with a wooden fortification straddling its highest point, known as the keep. This is what most people will think of when they hear the word castle. At the base of the motte is a flat, clear area known as the bailey that was surrounded by its own smaller earthen defensive works, and a fence known as the palisade. The bailey was used to keep people, farms, and other resources safe from attackers while under the watchful eye of the keep, that the bailey would also support. In this way, these types of castles were useful for acting as outpost castles that did not necessitate the resources to build and support as other more ambitious castles, like the Tower of London. This type of fortification would therefore be most useful to lords who were concerned over local populations challenging them, and so were incredibly useful to the invading Normans of 1066, who greatly expanded the construction and use of Motte and Bailey castles in Britain. The earthworks at Plympton were most likely constructed by the Danes before the Norman invasion, though the site was also likely to have been used as an early fortification by the Romans too. Once the Normans had become settled in the land of rolling green hills, they established the actual fortification atop the Plympton Motte for Richard de Redvers, who claimed earlship over Devon at the time of the castle's construction in 1100. Richard's descendant Baldwin de Redvers would use the castle in his rebellion against Stephen of Blois, yet he was defeated, and the castle was only returned to him 5 years later, when Stephen himself was defeated at the First Battle of Lincoln. Around this time, the fortifications were upgraded to the modern stoneworks that you can see today. Since then, the castle has been used as a refuge for lords and knights, as well as a staging post for royalist forces during the Civil War, where they besieged parliamentarians in nearby Plymouth. But now, it sits as simply a monument to Plympton's ancient past. There are some problems facing the castle today, such as vandalism from people taking parts of the castle away from the site itself, as well as erosion and weathering that are natural processes but still damage the castle. The motte itself also faces some damage from people creating their footpaths going up the side. But overall, efforts are being made to preserve this castle and its history. This can be seen with the efforts of Historic England, who have taken efforts to preserve the castle in its natural state by cutting back some of the shrubbery on the motte to prevent it from becoming truly unstable under its own weight, as well as removing the errant footpaths created by tourists and other visitors.